Welcome to another episode of A Stash of Stosh. It's early morning, mid-April. The leaves are just starting to leaf out and the sun's rising right now. Today we're going out and we're creating a morning mandala, morning altar. I struggle with the word altar, but when I read in a book called Morning Altars about how the meaning of the altar is outside of dogmatic religious forms, the meaning of altars are to do an offering up, just an offering up of what's inside and just offering it up to the world, to the universe, to the forest, to just whoever, whatever is around, so that it can be transmuted. You could even think of it as bringing it up to your consciousness and letting it transmute. And today is a sad day for me. It's been a sad number of days. I've been going into what I would say is a PTSD mode, where things that have happened in the past, experiences that were repeated in the past, I'm believing that they're happening in the present. And so I've been just riding with it as best I can, as best anyone can when that's happening, recognizing that it's not real and that I'm loved and that I'm safe and the people around me love me and that I'm safe with them, but also honoring that my somatic responses are ones of what's happened to me before. My body believes it's living back in the past where I'm going to get very hurt. I know a lot of you can relate to this. I think all of us are suffering from unprocessed experiences from the past that we continue to live in the present and continue to believe are actually happening in the present. And that creates a lot of challenges in everyday life. For me, my story is about not being good enough and having done things terribly wrong, unforgivably wrong, and having done that since I was a kid. And I feel like we all kind of hold parts of that we weren't good enough. Seems to be a mantra of our culture, that we're not enough. We're not enough just how we are. We have to be better. We're not good enough. And I internalized that to a really deep extent as a kid. So after 4 days of being nearly comatose, unable to really function, unable to really move around. When I'm in the States, I can't walk very well. Everything is just extremely hard, including movement, including, going for a walk, as I feel like my body weighs 500 pounds and that I don't have the muscles to move that 500 pounds. And I feel cold all the time. So I finally got up today and had enough energy to come out and create a morning mandala, to invite in the forest with me to create a mandala, create an offering, create an altar, whatever you want to call it, to create something to transmute this feeling of pain inside. And so I asked Violet to come with me, and Senecio, and these ferns that are just curled up inside and slowly uncurling and they have the strength to uncurl, bringing that in within me. And I got this huge jolt of energy when I leaned down and I saw this beautiful trillium amongst so many trilliums, and this one seemed to say, yes, take me with you.
Wow. Are you sure? The spider's here. Thank you so much. Wow, thank you.
Such a huge gift from Trillium, from Violet, from ferns. And I can just feel them saying, like, you're okay and you're loved, and we'll come in the raft with you. And these rafts of the mocker nut and hickory nut shells, placing them down and placing each of the flowers inside of the raft. Like, as you go on this journey and as you explore these depths and process what you're going through, we're totally here with you. We're in the raft with you. Because I feel like that's the hardest part, is you feel like you're so totally alone and you can't reach out to anybody. Because if you do, you might taint them with what you have and what you're going through, and you might hurt them in the same way that you were hurt. And so you just avoid everybody to protect them and to protect yourself, because you have no idea if they're going to turn on you like people have in the past. You have no idea if they're going to hurt you like in experiences in the past. And it takes so much courage to get in the raft and be like, you know what, I'm gonna swim to another shore, and I know on this other shore people aren't like this. I'm not around people like that anymore. I'm not in those experiences anymore. I'm not in those microcultures anymore. I'm safe. I'm loved. And it just takes a lot of courage to come from that place inside yourself where you just want to hide, and to venture out and unfurl your leaves and say, here I am, and I'm trusting you, and you, and you, and I'm trusting this world, and I'm trusting the people I'm around, and I'm trusting all the work I've done, and I'm trusting the culture that I've nurtured around myself. I'm trusting that I'm safe, and I'm trusting that I'm loved, and I'm gonna try. And this spring, I'm gonna try. And I've come out of this deep, dark winter, and it's still cold, and I'm still unsure if it's going to stay spring and go into summer. But I'm going to try. And Trillium there at the center with her big old leaves, those 3 big leaves that are like a raft. That say, like, even if you fall out of your little raft, you can float. You're like me, you have 3 big leaves. You can just float. You're like a lotus, babe. And you don't even need to root down through all this muddy water. Just float. Thank you for coming with me to create this morning altar. May those of us that are struggling with processing things from the past and healing parts of ourselves that haven't been healed and that are needing healing, that are still wounded, even though we've been healing them for years and decades, may we feel the presence of the flowers around us, being in this raft with us on this journey. May we feel the presence of each other and our friends and people we love. The human people and the more than human people. May we feel safe. May we feel held, and may we feel heard. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of A Stash of Stosh. I don't have comments from the last episode with me, so I'll hold off on those. Again, I still want to bring in your comments into this show. I'm still figuring out how to do that, how to have that planned ahead of time. So I'm going to figure that out and integrate you guys into it, because you guys mean the world to me. And I appreciate every one of you. And I love you. Okay, may this be the spring of your unfolding.